Hey guys, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. I'm Taffany, and I am sitting here in the garden enjoying the day and looking out at all of the flowers and thinking about what are the top producing flowers that I have relied on for the last few years here in this garden. And so I figured I would list those for you because it has been a challenge finding flowers. I am not from this part of the country, so learning how to garden in an extremely high heat, high humidity environment has been a learning experience for me. I live in Spring, Texas, Zone 9B, which is just north of Houston. The climate is extremely hot, extremely humid. I am near the Gulf of Mexico, and not everything can grow here. It is a challenge, and you don't want flowers that can take heat, but it can't take the humidity, so it's growing fungus and mold and things like that, powdery mildew, because it just can't take this environment. It's tough on roses. Things like knockout roses do great here, but it is a challenge for other kinds of roses. Not that it can't be done, but it requires an attention and care that some people just may not have. And then there are going to be some that just can't take the humidity. Just, it is what it is. So I am going to talk about plants, whether they're annuals or perennials, that can grow here and that has done wonderfully well for me. So we're going to start with sedum. Sedum angelina, lemon coral sedum. They sell a lot of sedum angelina here, and that is what I have used in the garden, and it stays green year round. You get yellow flowers in the spring. It does beautifully well, and it does not need a lot of watering, so it's a low maintenance plant, and it's just beautiful. I love the vibrant kind of neon pink lime green. I said neon pink, but neon green or lime green kind of color that it has. I love that. The second I would say would be African basil. Basil in general grows here well, but I typically buy the African basil, and it is a plant that gets extremely wide around. So you really only need one in a space. Or if you're planting multiples, you have to think about that. But it blooms from spring until the first or second frost, and it attracts bees like crazy. It blooms nonstop, and it's very aromatic. So I love that plant. The third one would be oregano. It stays green year round. It doesn't, die back with the frost. And when it's in the peak of summer, it starts blooming white flowers. So when it's stressful for others, it's giving us beauty. And you can cook with it just like with the basil. So I love those. The other would be lantana. Lantanas come in many different colors, yellows, pinks, pink and yellows. And it is a heat tolerant plant, and it loves this environment, and it blooms from spring to frost. So I love it. Another plant I would say would be vincas. Vincas bloom from spring until frost. The frost does take them, but they drop seeds. So where you plant them, keep your eye out. You don't want to dig up your seedlings thinking that they're weeds. So they reproduce, but not like perennials, by leaving seeds for the next season. And they come in a variety of colors as well. And they are very heat tolerant, and they do excellent here in the shade and in the sun here. Zinnias. Zinnias are in various different heights. The flower sizes are different, smaller ones, large ones, tall ones, short ones, multiple different colors, and they bloom from spring to frost, and they drop seeds. So once you plant a big grouping of them, the next year you won't have to do that again, because they do wonderful in reseeding themselves just like the vincas. I would have to say, looking around the garden, what else has done good for me? We've got lantanas, we've got the sedums, we've got basil, we've got oregano, we've got vincas, we've got zinnias. The other plant that does pretty good here are angelonias. Now, angelonias do kind of wane a little bit on their blooms in the highest part of the summer. It doesn't go completely bloomless, but it does wane on it. But during the spring and the fall to the first frost, you get an abundance of blooms with lighter blooms in the highest parts of the summer with the highest temps. And they come back as perennials here. I know they're annuals for a lot of people, but they are perennials for us here. So I like that. So I would have to say that those are my top choices for flowers that bloom here, whether annuals or perennials. So again, to go through that list, that's going to be sedums. That's going to be African basil. Oh, and the sedums can be lemon coral sedum or sedum angelina, whichever one, but those are the best performing ones here, sedums. African basil, oregano, lantana, angelonia, and vinca, and zinnias. Those are flowers that are going to live through the highest temps and the highest humidities that we get here. They have performed beautifully, and I would recommend, if you're in an environment that gets very hot and humid, and like here in the South Central US, and you struggle, try those out. I feel like those would work well in other 9B zones. I'm 9B. I feel like it would work in 9B in California. 9B in California is going to be hot like we are here, but dry. So it's going to be a little bit more of an arid environment versus a humid environment, but I feel like these would do beautifully in that environment as well. So, guys, those are my top performing flowers that have worked in my garden for the last few years. I hope some of those are going to be helpful for you, and give them a try if you haven't. I highly recommend them, especially the African basil. It smells so good. The area that you planted in, you can just smell that whole area. It is just so fragrant. In an herby kind of way, not a floral kind of way, an herby kind of way, but it smells good. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like this kind of content, consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure you like the videos, share them with your friends and family so we can grow our gardening community. And I just thank you all for being with me today in the garden as I sit and enjoy the breeze and this beautiful weather. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.